this whole perception of nothing happening is really frustrating. I think a lot of people, and what we've done as a city is, I think when we look at our people who are facing housing insecurity, we have disconnected ourselves from them, and we blame the city for them being there. It's kind of like there's this distance thing, and there's this thing happening that I hear about a lot, where there's like less compassion and there's a lot of frustration. And there's space in the city too, right? Like were you gonna say something?
Yeah, no, I was just agreeing. There's certainly space there, and I think you just touched on something that's really interesting. I think the issue, at least one of the things I noticed with San Francisco, is there's a lot of hypocrisy around that. As much as people talk, it's very, it's on its face very liberal, very progressive. Certainly, there's plenty of things around that I would absolutely agree with. But that's not necessarily reflected once it's in front of someone's front door. And now it's like, no, you got to move this problem some other place, or I don't want this in my neighborhood because my kid's over here. I don't want them picking up a needle, whatever else, which is very valid. Like no one wants that. But in terms of how people want to engage a response, I feel like there is, on the face, it's one thing. And I think other people, at least from when I've read some of the letters and everything else, they want a more direct response for things. But they may be, I don't know, intimidated to say that, or they don't necessarily feel like that is the politically correct way to say that. But I see really both sides for that a lot. Like people really want this to be aggressively taken care of. There are plenty of people just want, but there's homeless folks to be arrested or incarcerated or whatever, and just kind of put away. But on the flip side, like, no, we want progressive policies and we want these things. So it really comes down to how everyone votes around this, like who's actually putting up, because the people that are going to be the most vocal tend to have more resources around for them, and their voices tend to be louder or heard in a different way, even from city government and things like that. So usually the loudest voice, or the voice that rises to the top, is the one that's going to be heard. So
yeah. People want their families back. If someone's out there suffering, they want their family. I don't think anybody would be mad at someone turning their life around. Like if there was someone who was formerly homeless and they got an opportunity to get off the streets, I think the city, the same people who are frustrated, would be thrilled if that was the outcome of the person that they saw every day.
Yeah.
And but this perpetual state is something that I don't think any of us should accept.
No.